biggest thing was Google, again, confirming a recent update, which everyone was speculating about in the beginning of November for GMB, which obviously we know Google's been working a lot on GMB. More specifically, though, they actually stated more in lines with what the update pertained to, how it worked. The statement was, in early November, we began making use of neural matching as part of the process of generating local search results. Neural matching allows us to better understand how words are related to concepts, as explained more here. Then there's a link to their Twitter. I think really what's important about this update is it actually says a lot about when and why Google tells us what their updates are about. Because when I started looking into this more, essentially what Google wants to do is put more emphasis on the business listing itself and not so much on the name of the business, right? Because I'm trying to find the comment now, but there is a specific comment. The use of neural matching means that Google can do a better job going beyond the exact words in the business name or description to understand conceptually how it might be related to the word searchers intent. So, and honestly, it's something I'm really happy about, because there's a lot of times where I'm doing optimization on GMBs and there's almost little to no hope of even ranking unless you start packing those terms into the business name. And I think that's why Google wanted to make this announcement, because they wanted to say, hey people, stop spamming your business name. You don't have to put the city in there, you don't have to put keywords. We're updating our algorithms so now you can focus on actually just optimizing your listing, providing quality content that tells us what you're about, and they kind of want to combat that whole spammy GMB process. So I think that's really why we're hearing about this, compared to other updates.
Yeah, I mean, when they said they were using the neural matching, I thought about how I was seeing some of the listings that did have like city names in getting affected, and it makes sense then. They're looking beyond that now, and it actually hurt those listings to some extent. To some extent, we saw some suffering, some negatives on some of my listings that had the city appended to the end. So it makes sense. I still think they're going to look at the name.
Oh yeah.
I just think this just adding the city itself isn't super helpful like it used to be. I think you can do other things now.
Kind of like the old EMD update.
Yeah.
Where, like EMDs still work pretty good for a long time, and you could still brand an EMD really well, but yeah, definitely a shift there.
So it wonders, so if they're going to try to go beyond the GMB name, that might mean some of the other GMB elements are going to be more impactful now. So like services or, the content on the GMB site itself, the content within your GMB posts, maybe even the photo file names, stuff like that. They might start looking at, and weighing some of that stuff even more heavily. It's worth testing, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. One of the things they had mentioned too, for anyone who doesn't know what neural matching is, they explain it's an AI-based system that Google's been using since 2018. And it's like a super synonym system is the way they described it. And I actually noticed this with a group of my listings. I have about 10 listings that are hyper-targeted to one keyword. It's in the business name. It's really the only term that's optimized in the description. The website it's linked to is completely optimized for that term, but there's not a lot of LSI or synonyms or anything. And the GMBs used to rank as #1 everywhere for just that one term, and those rankings have been dropping drastically, which means I'm thinking the other listings that weren't so heavily optimized directly for that term are now getting more relevance because of the synonyms, because of the other references, and all those things. So it's almost like keyword stuffing on GMBs. It just doesn't really work anymore. You really want to look at the wide range of terms that you're targeting.
Or maybe stuff different keywords. Maybe stuff the LSI term in there.
Exactly, yeah.
And see if it helps regain, if you get that relevancy boost.
Yeah, I'm going to have to throw some in there.
That's almost what I did with the location. Like I added additional terms to them to build them out rather than it's just the city. I built that location out more, and it seemed to improve. Well, it did improve. So maybe long tail is the answer.
Yeah,
Under keyword stuff in the GMB name.
and including things maybe even like state, zip codes.
I saw good results, including the state.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of opportunity, definitely, as far as moving forward with GMB optimization. With